You know that feeling, right? That little question that pops into your head. What if? Well, today we're diving into the exact tool the English language gives us to explore that very question. This isn't just about boring grammar rules, not at all. Think of it as a way to travel back in time, to look at your past and imagine a totally different reality.
I mean, of course you have. Who hasn't? We all have those moments we play over and over in our minds. That thing you wish you'd said, or that turn you wish you hadn't taken. It's that classic feeling of hindsight, of knowing now what you didn't know then. And that's exactly what we're going to tap into today.
So we're going to connect a simple piece of grammar to some really powerful human emotions. We're talking regret, criticism, and even just pure simple imagination. See, this is about way more than just how to build a sentence. It's about how we process our own stories. Yeah, whether it's something small, like burning the toast this morning, or something huge, a life-altering decision, we all have these moments. And what's so cool is that English has this very specific structure, almost like a secret code, designed for the single purpose of talking about these impossible pasts and their imaginary outcomes. Okay, so what is this grammatical time machine actually called? Well, it's the third conditional. Let's get a really clear definition up so we're all on the same page. And there you have it. It's all about situations that are, impossible because they're in the past. They're over, they're done, you can't change them. So we use this structure to build a little alternate reality in our heads. It is, quite literally, our what-if machine for looking backward. All right, so how do we actually build this thing? Like any good machine, it has a pretty clear formula. Let's break down the parts so you can see how it all fits together. So it really just has two main parts. First up, you've got the if clause. This is what sets up the impossible condition in the past. It uses what's called the past perfect tense. That's just had plus a verb form like eaten or studied. Then you've got the main clause, and that describes the imaginary result. It uses would have plus another one of those verb forms. So you've got your condition, and you've got your result. That's the heart of it. And what's great is that this structure is also super flexible. You can start with the if part. If I had studied, I would have passed. Just notice that little comma there, separating the two ideas. Or you can flip it around, maybe for a little more drama. I would have passed if I had studied. And here's the key thing to remember. When the if part comes second, you just drop the comma. Easy, right? Okay, that's enough of the technical stuff. Let's see how this thing actually performs out in the wild. How do real people use the third conditional in just, everyday conversation? First up, and this is the big one, is expressing regret. I mean, this is hands down the most common way you'll hear it used. It's the sound of us looking back at something we did, wishing we could get a do-over. It's basically the universal language of hindsight. Okay, let's set the scene. Here are the cold hard facts of our story. This is what really happened. I didn't wake up early, and because of that, I missed my flight. A terrible start to the day for sure. And boom, there it is. The third conditional in action. You can practically hear the sigh in that sentence, can't you? It takes that reality we just talked about and completely rewrites it. The condition is waking up earlier, and the imaginary result is catching the flight. It just perfectly captures that arg feeling of regret. But we don't just use this to beat ourselves up over past mistakes. Oh no, it can also be a pretty sharp tool for criticizing something that someone else did or didn't do. So, once again, let's look at what actually happened. The reality is simple, and it's not great. The driving wasn't careful, and the result was a car crash. Pretty cut and dry. Now listen to how this sentence frames the whole thing. It starts with the result, he wouldn't have crashed the car, and then it gives us the if condition that would have changed everything. It's a very clear criticism, pointing the finger at the exact action that led to the problem. And hey, look at that, it's that reverse structure we talked about with no comma. But it's not always so heavy, It's not always about regret or pointing fingers. Sometimes we just use the third conditional to explore different timelines, just out of curiosity. This is a perfect example. There's no major regret here. No one's getting blamed for anything. The sentence is just stating a simple fact. It rained, and then imagining the nice alternative that the weather made impossible. It's just a neutral way of thinking about what could have been. Okay, so you've totally got the basics down. Now, let's look at a couple of pro tips that will help you use this more naturally and really make you sound more like a native speaker. We're going to focus on two really key things. First, how to shorten all this up when you're speaking by using contractions. And second, how to add a little more nuance to your meaning by swapping out would have for its cousins, could have and might have.
Okay, this right here is the secret to sounding natural. In a real conversation, you'll almost never hear someone say the full phrase, if I had known, I would have called. It's just too clunky. Instead, we squish it all together. I had becomes I'd, and I would have becomes I'd have. Just listen to how much better this flows. If I'd known, I'd have called. See, it's faster, it's smoother, it's just how people actually talk. Now, this is how you can really fine-tune what you're saying. Would have suggests a definite result, a certainty in that alternate past. I would have passed. But if you say could have, you're introducing an ability or an option. I could have bought a house means I would have had the ability to do it. And might have is even less certain. It's just a possibility. We might have avoided traffic. It's a subtle change, but it adds a whole new layer of meaning.
So, as you can see, the third conditional is so much more than just grammar. It's a way of thinking, of reflecting, of imagining. You've got the tool now, so the only question left is how are you going to use it? What's one thing in your past that, if you think about it, you would have done differently? Have a think on that. The answer might just surprise you.